The following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media. Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven, Inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hog Trough, the 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media. Welcome to the 4-Star Sports Media College Football Pickem Show. Now, live from the BA Mask Studios, here is your host, from The Point, Wes Pruitt.
Hello, 4-Star Nation, and welcome back to College Pickem with 4-Star Sports Media. We thank you to everybody watching right now on Facebook and also at our new website, 4star.live. Check it out. I wrote a great article on the Battle of the Ravine that we were at this past Saturday. Will wrote a great article on the Memphis Tigers win in basketball this past Tuesday night. Guys, it's week 12 of college football season. I would say this has been probably one of the craziest seasons I've seen in quite some time. Some teams we didn't think were going to be very good or bad. Some teams we thought might be pretty good or really bad. The coaching carousel is spinning like 95 miles an hour right now. There's rumors all over the country circulating. Guys, I'll start with this. What did we learn from the week of that was week 11 in college football? Christian, I will start with you.
Yeah, there wasn't too many surprises. I guess the big one is Oklahoma was overrated. They're still a good team, but you know they lost to a good Baylor team. I don't want to take anything away from Baylor, but I feel like the talk about Oklahoma has kind of died down now, and I'm not going to say I'm extremely shocked they lost, but I was a little surprised about that. Yeah, that's mine for this week.
All right, Nathan, what about you, man? All right, Bub, we'll go to you next. What about you?
Not really a big surprise, but Mississippi State just continues to win against ranked teams this year. Those are the games they show up for. You know, at the beginning of the year, if you would have told me Mississippi State would have been bowl eligible, I would have been like, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But they got there. They got their sixth win, and they play Tennessee State this week, which should be a dub. And then next week, Thanksgiving Day, you got a nice Egg Bowl game set up against Ole Miss. So should be really interesting.
Yeah, it really should. Willie B, I'll come to you next, man.
He's muted.
Go figure. Always is. So, yeah, I've got a couple, but one that I was really surprised at, there wasn't any line for that Samford-Florida game. And I guess, you know, the result was kind of why. I mean, I don't know that anybody, and maybe they did, saw that game going up over 100 points at 52-70 and them hanging with Florida. I mean, they're a pretty decent team from what I heard. I listened to some of the game on the radio. I just found it on satellite, and it just happened to be one that I stumbled across. But, yeah, that was kind of interesting. Yeah, something that stood out. The other one I had is just something that, I was kind of surprised at seeing too was Texas lose to Kansas. You know, that was a really close game. Obviously, came down to overtime, but those were probably outside. You know, Oklahoma was another one I was looking at. I think I picked them to win because Baylor got whooped up on pretty good last week or the week before with TCU. But yeah, those are the couple that really kind of stood out to me.
I
Yeah,
totally forgot about the Texas-Kansas game. There's no excuse for the University of Texas to lose to Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually mine, but I mean, I think what I learned is that Steve Sarkisian's on the hot seat, fellas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you've now lost 5 straight.
Yeah, but here's the
I
thing
mean-
about Sark. So this is Sark's first year there.
Yeah.
So you can't give up on him year one. You have to at least give him a chance.
Yeah.
You would think they
Tom
would.
Herman.
But
Listen, Tom Herman dug a hole in that Texas program deeper than what he started with.
oh yeah.
So I don't really think you got to give a fair shot to Steve Sarkisian. And then you're in the running for a guy like Arch Manning and other big time recruits. Next year, I think they'll get an uptick. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to go win the Big 12 next year or the SEC, whatever conference they're in, because their future's kind of uncertain right now. We do know they're going to end up in the SEC, just don't know when. If I'm Texas, I'm trying to hold off on that for as long as I can, because I don't want to get in the SEC and just get big boyed by every team I play, you know.
Right.
So,
yeah,
give him time; he'll get it figured out.
I mean,
I think he deserved. It's his first year. It's hard to be too hard on him, but he has been a head coach at several other places. So I wouldn't give. I mean, if he has a bad year next year, then you got to look at getting rid of him.
Yeah, I've read at least 3 articles today that said he's in trouble. Like there's some rumor, there's some rumblings down in Austin that there may be a move made. But I mean, I just don't see how you could do that. I mean, we talked about it when he was hired. Look at all the money that the University of Texas spent to get rid of Herman and then to bring him and his staff on. To turn around and get rid of that guy, I mean, you're just taking on an immense amount of money. Not that they don't have it, but still, I mean, that's.
I think they're still paying Charlie Strong, if I'm correct.
Do what now?
I think they're still paying Charlie Strong, if I'm correct. I think I saw that they're paying Charlie Strong and Tom Herman's buyouts along with Sark. So they're paying 3 coaches at one time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a smart business decision at all, but man, it's crazy. But I mean, Kansas. I mean, if you go back and look at Kansas' schedule. Look at how many games they've been in this year.
Yeah. Also, look, like it's not the first time Kansas has upset Texas.
Oh no, it's not.
No. That's the problem. It's not the first time.
And I mean, here's the thing. I mean, that game was at Kansas. Am I correct?
No,
it was at Texas.
It was at Texas. Okay. Oh, that's even worse.
But you do need to look, though. You look at how Kansas played Oklahoma this year.
Yeah.
And I know Oklahoma lost this past week, but Kansas played a really tough game against Oklahoma. Their games are actually a lot closer, like you said, than they are advertised. I think I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're on an upswing, but they're competing a lot better than they used to compete.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think that was their first win at Texas. If I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, though. I think Sark's just trying to get it together.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's Texas, guys. Like that job at that school has a higher standard to it than any other school in the country.
I feel like them in Florida are in similar situations right now. Both they're going to get players.
They are, but Texas demands winning.
Right.
Florida's okay with a 9-3, 10-2 season. Texas isn't. Texas wants to win every game that they play. It's the only team I could compare Texas like historically to is Bama, because they want perfection.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the last since Vince Young's been gone, they haven't had perfection. So
it's been far from it.
It's tough.
It is very much so. Nathan, we'll come to you, man. What did you learn from last week in college football? Nathan still is not on. All right. Let's jump into the games, fellas. Week 12 brings us some matchups that personally I'm really looking forward to. It really all starts tomorrow night with Memphis and Houston. We'll get back into that here shortly. Josh Wilbanks said, hey, guys. Hey, Josh. Oh, Nathan is on. Nathan. Thank you very much for joining us, Nathan. Oh, nope, just kidding. Nathan's not on. Josh, thank you very much for joining us, man. We appreciate you watching.
What's going on, Josh?
Michigan State travels to the Horseshoe to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Ohio State Buckeyes offense is absolutely rolling right now. And when you look on the Michigan State side, offensively for Ohio State, they have a passing game that's out of this world. Defensively for Michigan State, look at them on the defense side of the ball. I think they ranked 100, 108, something like that.
Their D-backs are going to have a tough game.
It's going to be a very tough game. But let's get into it, guys. K9, Kenneth Walker, the third, going on the road. I think right now he is the Heisman front runner, to be honest with you. But Michigan State, Ohio State. Nathan, we'll start with you, man. Who you got?
I think Nathan's having problems with his mic.
Yeah. All right, Will, I'll come to you next. Who you got, man? You're on mute.
I think I must have missed that one in our initial Pickem list. But of that game, I think I'll roll with Ohio State.
It's a spot pick. These are the best ones. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah. No, you're good. I think it was in that first message, and I just missed it and copying and pasting. But no, I mean, in that game, like I like Michigan State up until that Purdue loss. I mean, and the way Ohio State's kind of seemed to turn it on, or at least they're kind of getting hot at the right time. I mean, I think Ohio State wins that one.
Okay. Christian, I'll come to you next, man. Michigan State or Ohio State?
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting game because you got the running game of Michigan State and then the high-octane passing game of Ohio State. So it'll be interesting to see how that fares. I think Michigan is good enough to beat Ohio State. I just don't I think Ohio State's – they know their back's against the wall, and if they got to win out, I mean, obviously Michigan State could still sneak in, but I feel like this game's – I wouldn't say more important, but Ohio State really needs this game, and they're going to have to be on their game, though. Michigan State's going to come in and give them all they can handle. So, but if Kenneth Walker, has that breakout game, this could also do his Heisman candidacy a lot of good. It can propel him to that clear top spot. So. Or favorite, I guess I should say. But I think Ohio State's just going to be too much for them. Ohio State's defense is not great, but neither is Michigan State's. I think it can be high scoring. I just think Ohio State's going to be too much for them.
Yeah, no doubt. Welcome in, Razorback Zach, and Nathan is in too. Bum, what about you, man? Michigan State or Ohio State?
Don't get me wrong, guys. I love Kenneth Walker, but I don't think he's the clear front runner for the Heisman. I think that's Matt Corral. I think that he put his name certified, stamped that last week with that win against.
It's his to lose.
A&M.
Yeah, it's his to lose right now.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, and sorry, I don't mean to go on a side tangent, but like you look at a guy, and I know I'm not trying to sound like a homer. You look at a guy like Will Rogers at Mississippi State right now. He is putting up just astronomical numbers this season. And because Mississippi State is not one of those top 10 teams, he's not really being looked at.
Yeah.
But this year's Heisman race is just one of the closest I can remember in recent history.
Yeah, but Bum, you're talking about Will Rogers, though. By the way, what's up, guys?
What's going on, Zach?
What's up, Zach?
You're talking about Will Rogers, Bum. Look at it, though. I know he's putting up ungodly numbers, like you said. But at the same time, I mean, he's got a losing record when he throws over 400 yards in a ball game.
A lot of that's they're playing from behind, though.
Yeah, they are.
True.
But in this game, I'm going to take Ohio State.
Okay.
I think they're just too much to handle for Michigan State. That Michigan State defense is going to struggle. Now, I did see Michigan State's coach is about to get a massive
Yes.
extension, which good for
Yes.
him, man.
Yes.
Good for him.
Yeah, Mel Tucker, they announced, will now be the highest paid African American coach in the United States. So kudos to him for that. 10-year, $95 million contract.
I think it's the highest paid coaching position for an African American coach of all time. In college football.
10
very
years
well,
is
man.
a long time, though.
But man, if you look at Michigan State
and what they've been on track to do under him,
he is building something that Ohio State better look out for. I'll just go ahead and say it. Mel Tucker is building a beast in East Lansing, Michigan right now, for sure. Zach, we'll come to you, man. Michigan State, Ohio State. Who you got?
Man, I tell you, I love it when Ohio State loses, but you know what? Give me Michigan State in this one.
Okay. All right.
By take 3.
I'm gonna take Ohio State, but I think it's gonna be closer than the experts think. We're by far not experts. Yeah, I'm gonna take Ohio State. I think CJ Stroud is just now kind of starting to get in the groove, as they say. And I mean, if you look at this Ohio State team, they're ranked number 4 right now. They're hitting their stride. They've got Michigan State, and then they've got Michigan. So, I mean, theoretically, they're sitting there looking at Big Ten championship, possibly playoffs. And I mean, if you look at it right now, I mean, they would be playing. They'd be playing Georgia. I mean, Ohio State Georgia would be a hell of a game. Yeah, I would take Ohio State in this one. Up next, we've got a team that personally I really enjoy watching play.
Hey, Wes.
Hey,
I take Ohio State too.
My bad. Okay, I'm so sorry. I wasn't sure if your microphone was working or wasn't working.
Yeah, sorry about that, fellas. I just, like I said, I'm heading home from work, so yeah, give me Ohio State. They got a lot. They got a wide receiver unit that is very tough to match up against.
Olave is nasty.
Right. Not to take anything away from Michigan State, but Ohio State is on a whole different level right now.
Oh, no doubt, man. All right. Up next, we've got number 10, Wake Forest. This team's fun to watch, guys. They put up some points with a very tough task, taking on a not ranked Clemson team. When's the last time we've said that, Will?
It's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute.
Has been a minute. Dabo Swinney was none too happy that his team was not ranked in the top 25. Personally, I think they got shafted. But anyway, Clemson, Wake Forest. I'm going to start off, guys. Give me Clemson in this game. I think Dabo's got this team playing a little bit better ball, and I think they're a little bit pissed off, to be honest with you. But give me Clemson in this game. Nathan, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm not going Clemson. I'm going Wake Forest in this. Wake Forest has a great guy at quarterback, so I'm going to take Wake Forest.
Okay.
Nothing
all right.
This year.
Yeah. Will, what about you, man?
Yeah, I agree with Nate. At least in that I like Wake. I like their quarterback, Sam Hartman. The kid can really sling the ball around. The only thing I'm not really fond of with them is their defense. I mean, they can't slow anybody down. That was obviously that was evident in their last game. But I didn't see. I mean, UNC's good. I didn't see them for whatever reason, even at home. I don't know. I just expected Wake Forest to be able to keep up and possibly win that game. But in this one, I do have Clemson as my pick. I just think, they're firing on all cylinders. They're kind of starting to catch their stride, and this is the right time of the season to do that. I know you guys mentioned a little bit of added motivation with not being in the top 25. I mean, they are 7-3. And this is one of those games where if they win, maybe that vaults them up a little bit. But yeah, I think right now, I think they're capable of doing that. Obviously, with that UNC game last week, what Wake Forest was able to do or not do. So yeah, Clemson, I got them winning it, and I think they could cover that 4.5.
No doubt. Christian, what about you, man?
Yeah, this game intrigues me because like Will said, Wake Forest can't stop anybody, but Clemson can't score very many points. Clemson's defense, though, is very good. I mean, you can't take any away from their defense. I mean, they're the reason they're 7-3 right now.
Yeah.
So something's got to give in this game, and I feel more confident in Clemson's defense, even though Wake Forest has put up a lot of points. They haven't faced a defense like Clemson yet. So it's just going to come down to if Clemson can score enough points. I'm not real confident in that either, but I got to pick somebody, and I just think Clemson's going to pull it out. It might be by 3. It could be by a touchdown, but I just think Clemson's going to pull it off.
All right, Bum. What about you, man? Brent. All right, Zach. What about you?
This one's kind of tough because, like Christian said, Clemson can't score, and Wake Forest can't stop anybody. So it's going to come down to who's got the final possession of the ball game and who can score. Who can score?
Who's going
period.
to give?
Yeah, who's going to give? So I think, man, I tell you, screw it. Give me the Demon Deacons by 7.
Okay, all right. Mark that down, Will. He said by 7. We've got to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, BA Mask. Alan McFerrin and company do an incredible job forging the future of sports face masks. NFL players wear them, professional lacrosse players, and more. Alan McFerrin, go to BAMask.com. Also go to BA Mask on all your social media outlets. And they are now involved in the NIL deal with the brand new BA Athlete. They've got, I believe, 7 or 8 players signed right now to contracts with them to sponsor them to wear their gear. They've got some great-looking hats, great-looking shirts. Check them out. Alan McFerrin is the man. Everything is custom-made, fellas, custom-made. Go to the website. You can create your own, BAMask.com.
Give me
also, who?
The Demon Deacons.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
they're ranked 12th in the country.
Okay. All right. They can't stop a leak, man.
I don't care. Clemson can't score.
Well, touche. All right. Up next, we've got Iowa State traveling to a place that's just something ain't right in in Norman, Oklahoma right now.
Don't let OSU fans hear that. You say that.
I know. That's why I quickly changed it. In Norman, Oklahoma, where the University of Oklahoma is located, something is not right now. Lincoln Riley was just recently offered, I think, a pretty good deal, fellas. I think everyone in this room would take this deal. $12 million a year. Everybody take that?
Not at Oklahoma.
Yes.
He
I'd
said
take $1 million.
Will, what about you?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's so Iowa State comes in, guys.
Just too much for Will.
Dude, it's just
Yeah.
it's pocket change.
Pocket change.
Yeah, pocket change. Matt Campbell, guys. I like this guy. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's done an amazing job at Iowa State. And I'm going to take him to get the win Saturday against Oklahoma. I think he's going to walk in and they're going to get it right, get it tight, and get that win against Oklahoma. I just think something's not right in Oklahoma. I mean, Lincoln Riley's missing press conferences. Rumor was that he flew down to Baton Rouge. I mean, there's a lot of rumors swirling right now in Norman, Oklahoma, and I think it's an issue. Give me Iowa State to walk in and get the big win. Bum, what about you, man?
I think Matt Campbell was doing a good job at Iowa State. I don't know if you saw the report, but he said something to the extent of, everybody else is goal is to make the Big 12 championship here, win the Big 12. That's not my goal. And I was like, well, you're a terrible football coach then.
Wow.
Give me Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma big in this one. Next week for Bedlam when they play Oklahoma State, it's going to be a huge game between two one-loss teams.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Zach, what about you, man? Oh, Zach's not in there. Christian, what about you?
Yeah, this game's like kind of a tricky one because Oklahoma, they're coming off a loss.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of stuff going on there, as you just mentioned. So, this is, and they kind of have some quarterback issues still. But dang, with what Bum said is true about Matt Campbell, I don't want this guy to win.
Yeah.
I want Oklahoma to win if that's the case, because, if that's not his goal to win the Big 12 championship every year,
I'll post the link to it on Facebook later after the show.
What is he doing there?
What did I miss?
Oh, we'll get to that in just a second. Nathan, what about you, man? Iowa State or Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm choosing Oklahoma in this. I can see Caleb Williams coming out a lot better than he did last game.
Yeah.
And he's going to put up some points against Iowa State.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Brandon, your buddy's in here, Celeste. I know y'all are best friends. I'm sure y'all are probably friends on Facebook, probably. You're just not.
I don't think we are.
Really? Well, Celeste, send him a friend request.
I don't associate with Arkansas fans.
That's not true.
But you're on the show with two of them.
That's not true. That's not true. He associates with at least two Arkansas fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Only
and two and a half.
It's more like 2 and an 8, but who's judging?
2 and an 8.
I feel like that's
I'll claim you, Wes. If you say you're an Arkansas fan, I'll claim you.
No, hey Zach,
it's a half.
What I was saying is Matt Campbell said in a press conference earlier this week, they asked him what his goal was for the season, and he basically said that everybody thinks it's to either win or go to the Big 12 championship. That's not my goal, and I'm everybody's sitting here like, what? That's just a sign of
what is his goal?
He didn't say.
So if that's not his goal,
exactly.
Because let's be real. Like Iowa State's goal should not be to win a national championship.
You don't say that,
or any year.
That.
Right. You don't say that as a coach.
Or was he giving his best Dan Mullen impression?
Probably.
Now the players are like, well, coach, we can just suck it up.
Exactly. Will, what about you, man? Iowa State or Oklahoma?
Well, despite the recent revelations that Bum just dropped on us, I had initially had Iowa State picked and taken the 3.5 points, which I'm still gonna do that. Although looking back at stats, I think last time Iowa State beat Oklahoma in Oklahoma, I think it was 2011. But this Iowa State team is just a little bit quirky. Like they lose to some bad teams, they've beaten some good teams. They beat Oklahoma State by 3. They beat them by a field goal. But they beat West Virginia. They beat Oklahoma State. I'm sorry, they lose to West Virginia. Shit, I can't read. They beat Texas pretty handily, but then they lose to Texas Tech. So I don't know. I really don't. I did, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Most people have probably heard it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most.
But either way, I
do that shit all the time.
I had Iowa State picked. I still feel like despite what Bum was just saying, maybe the Lincoln Riley stuff will play a bigger role in Oklahoma's losing than the Iowa State coaches maybe possibly misspeaking. I don't know, but I'm anxious to go back and listen to that. That sounds really stupid that guy would say that.
It really does. So you're going to take Iowa State as well, huh? All right.
If Pittman said that, I'd be mad.
Nathan, I know you had some things to say about Spencer Rattler in the past, and Lincoln Riley for that matter. So what's your What's your take on Iowa State, Oklahoma?
Oh, I've already said I'm choosing. I'm going with Oklahoma over Iowa State. It's going to be Caleb Williams. He's going to have a better game than he did last game. I don't give a.
Do you still feel the same way about Spencer?
Yeah, he's a joke. And look, here's the thing.
Transfer out?
Yeah, he's going to transfer out because Lane Kiffin's trying to get him. Yeah, Lane Kiffin, bring him to Ole Miss. Please bring him to Ole Miss so he can face.
He's going to Bama.
Lane ain't going to be at Ole Miss.
That Lane train's rolling out, buddy. He's going down to Coral Gables.
All I'm saying is bring Rattler to the SEC so he can get so he can know what a real defense looks like.
Rattler's going to go to Texas.
Take him to Bama.
Ooh, Rattler
to
Texas
Bama
would be interesting.
Don't you dare say that
Rattler in a
again.
heartbeat.
No, Nick Saban's not going to have
Rattler
Rattler.
take him in a heartbeat.
Rattler to
Bama
Bama.
fans would
because Sarkisian needs somebody down there in Texas. They are getting ripped to shreds right now because of that loss over Kansas.
Oh yeah, we talked about it at the very beginning of the show. I mean, there's Brewsters down there that want him out.
I mean, Kansas is a bad loss for anybody in the country, and you're Texas on top of that.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
No, we've never lost to them.
Now, Christian. Here's my question to you as a fellow Razorback fan. Excuse me, Wes. I just had a question real quick.
Go ahead.
You know, we beat Texas early in the season when they were ranked. Does that Texas loss not look as good on our schedule? Or Texas win?
I don't care. We still
look as good on our schedule now.
You beat them, but it's not as pretty as a win as it was the night you beat them.
But that's not our only. That's not. I mean, we got.
Oh no. Yeah,
I'm
not saying it's not a good win. It's just not as pretty as it was.
I think they're just kind of like Florida. You look at Florida though; they were great. They look like a dominant team, or at least a team that could compete in the East early in the year, and then they fell off. I think the players for Florida and Texas have just given up.
I think Florida looked at that Bama game, said this is it, and then they were like, all right, we played a hell of a game. Good season, boys.
Yeah, I think Florida teams like Florida, LSU, and Texas have all packed it in for the season.
Yeah, very well could be. Up next, we've got another team from Texas. That will be the SMU Mustangs going to take on number 5 Cincinnati. Cincinnati has, just squeaked by. I mean, week after week, it's like, Cincinnati's going to blow them out and they win by 3. They're undefeated, but it hadn't been a pretty undefeated. SMU, Nathan has been looking forward to this game all season.
An 18-point win is still an 18-point win. They won by 18 last week.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I was referring more to like the Tulsa game.
Feel that, but like everybody's like they're barely squeaking by. They're still winning games, though.
They are. They're still undefeated, and you can't take that from them. Nathan, I will actually start with you on this game. SMU or Cincinnati?
I mean, do we really have to answer that question? I mean, I said it at the beginning of the season. The one team, well, I say one. There's going to be another one. But one team that I'm picking to beat Cincinnati will be SMU.
Okay. Mark that down. Nathan is taking SMU. Brandon, I'll come to you next, man. SMU or Cincinnati?
Cincy big, not even close.
Okay. All right. As a fellow American Athletic Conference Memphis fan, Will, I will come to you next. SMU or Cincinnati?
So I've got Cincy to win, but I'll take SMU's points. That plus 11.5 looks pretty good. I mean, that's assuming they can get their offense going. They weren't really able to do that too well against us. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Cincy will continue their undefeated season. Although I would look ahead to that ECU game they've got coming next week, just based on how that game went for us. That may be a little bit more of a test for them to close out their season undefeated. So
yeah,
that's
agree.
Next week.
Yeah, completely agree. I'm going to take Cincinnati to get the win. I think it's going to be close. I think SMU. I mean, let's not take anything away from SMU. That Mordecai kid can sling it. There's no doubt about that. But give me Cincinnati to get the win. Christian, I'll come to you. Cincinnati or SMU?
Yeah, I think SMU can give Cincinnati some fits. And they're kind of built like SMU. Built like Cincinnati. They can throw the ball around. They don't have Ritter as their quarterback, but they got a pretty good quarterback. But I think Memphis proved against SMU that they can be stopped. So I think Cincinnati has the defense to do that, and I think Cincinnati will win. It won't be. I don't think it'll be like a blowout or anything, but I think they'll beat them by at least 14 points. And will that be enough to earn them some more brownie points? I guess by the committee, because it's going to come down to, does the committee think they deserve to be in? And I feel like they've got to. I think as of right now, I think, at least personally, I think they deserve to be in the top 4, but a lot can change. You never know.
Yeah, it's going to take some help. We've definitely talked about that. It's going to take some major shifts ahead of them. Zach, I come to you, man. SMU or Cincinnati?
Man, I got to go with Nate on this one. SMU is going to be that one team that's going to knock off Cincinnati, and I think it's going to happen.
Wow. Okay. All right. Up next, we've got a team that has really been in a lot of games this year. That's Kansas taking on TCU. Gary Patterson is no more, and so TCU is now looking for a new head coach. There's a few teams around the country looking for a new head coach. Guys, give me Kansas to get a little win streak going.
Nope.
At 2.
You're
and
joking,
get a win.
right?
Kansas doesn't know how to win
not.
2 games in a row.
I'm just telling you.
There's no way. There's no way Kansas wins 2 in a row.
Okay. Well, y'all call me crazy. Give me
I didn't say
Kansas
you're crazy.
to walk in.
You are crazy.
That's fine. Give me Kansas to walk in and get the win. Bum, I come to you next.
Give me Kansas. And also give me Hugh Freeze as the next head coach at Virginia Tech.
I agree on both those statements. Will, I come to you next.
So yeah, on this one, I'm going to have to go with TCU. I know, they had a coaching change, but I don't really trust Kansas any further than I could throw them. They're getting 21 points. I would take the 21 just based on, last week's game. But I don't think they'll beat TCU.
All right. Nathan?
Yeah, I'm going with TCU. Kansas, yeah, they got to win over Texas. Good for you. But TCU, you won't get a back-to-back win. So TCU.
All right. Zach, coming to you, man.
Give me the Horny Toads.
How about you?
TCU.
TCU. All right.
Can I say
next.
one thing?
Sure, go ahead.
TCU's terrible. Go watch that
They are.
game they played last week.
They're horrible, man. They're
Kansas
absolutely
isn't very good either, but go watch that
No.
game TCU played.
This
Yeah,
is Kansas
TCU's
we're
god
talking
awful.
about.
I know,
We're
but I'm
talking
telling you,
about
man,
Kansas.
TCU.
We're talking about a
Look
team
at
that
the-
just went to Austin, Texas in a hostile environment and beat them with walk-ons.
They had that.
True.
Kansas. We're talking about Kansas.
I'm telling you. Y'all call me nuts, man. Y'all called me crazy when I said TCU was going to beat, who was that, Baylor? Is that who I picked? And they're like, oh, no, there's no way that's going to happen. It happened, didn't it?
All the more
Telling you.
reason TCU is going to beat Kansas.
I'm
TCU
just
doesn't
telling
have
you.
a coach.
Kansas is going to beat TCU Saturday. Y'all call me crazy, but when it happens, y'all can blow my phone up. That's fine. We'll timestamp it, whatever.
We'll
up
never
next,
hear the end of it.
you won't. Trust me. You won't. I will create a audio ad to play on the 24/7 station on 4star.live. And you'll hear it every show.
Nice shameless plug there, Wes.
No problem. Up next, number 11, Baylor, taking on Kansas State. Dave Aranda is also being rumored for some other jobs as well. Give me Baylor. Baylor Bears big. Bum, what about you, man?
Baylor by 50.
Baylor by 50. Okay. All right. Zach, we'll come to you.
Baylor.
Baylor. All right. Willie B.
Yeah, I'm taking Baylor +1.
Is everybody taking Baylor in the room?
Who are they playing?
Yep.
Kansas State.
Kansas State.
Ooh, I don't know.
There's no ooh to that. Baylor's going to beat
Come
the
on
dog
now.
mess out of
Yeah.
them.
Come
Kansas
on,
State
man.
ain't terrible.
It's all Baylor, man.
Come
Baylor's
on,
got
Baylor's-
coaching.
Come on, man. Baylor's about to obliterate
Come
them
on,
Saturday.
Yeah,
Come
I'll
on,
pick
man.
Baylor. I'll pick Baylor, but don't act like Kansas State is trash.
They're not
No, they're
trash,
not.
but they're not.
They're
Baylor.
not trash, but they're not Baylor.
They're
Dave
not
Aranda's
Kansas.
that Baylor
favored.
defense is good.
But only because they're at home.
Right.
Baylor's going into it, they're a 1-point dog, but they're also coming in ranked 11th in the country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could give Kansas State even more reason to show up. I mean, they're 7-3. They're only one loss back of Baylor.
I'm telling you, Baylor's going to blow them out. Up next, number 3, Oregon, traveling out to the Utah Utes, number 23 in the country. I feel like this is going to be a nice little Pac-12 matchup.
No,
Will,
it's
do you like a
not.
little? Will, do you like a little Pac-12 after dark?
Man, when I can stay up and watch it, I like to watch some of the West Coast games just because it's really just a lot of slinging the ball around. There's usually not a whole heck of a lot of defense, a lot of slight guys that move quick. They're nothing like what you see down here in the Southeast. That's why they never really show up in the playoff. So I really don't have a dog in the hunt in this game. Also, for whatever reason, it's lacking in my list. But besides the point, it doesn't matter. I'll take the underdog in this one just because I'd like to see some shakeup. So I'll take the Utes in this one at home.
All right. I will also take the Utes at home in this one. I think that Kyle Whittingham out there, the guy does an incredible job. He's a coach that you really don't hear a lot about mentioned for other jobs around the country, and I'm really surprised by that because if you look at what he did at Utah, he built that thing from the ground up, man. He's kept it going. I really give him the utmost amount of credit. Nathan, Utah or Oregon?
Quack, quack. That's who I'm going with. I'm going with the
All right.
Ducks.
Quack, quack. Zach, what about you, man?
Give me the Ducks.
Ducks. All right, Christian?
Yeah, I got Oregon. Utah's going to battle, though. They usually do battle. And I still don't understand how Oregon lost to Stanford. But they're one of the best. I think Oregon's going to get into the playoff. And they're one terrible loss away from being 10-0 right now. But but they didn't win. So, but they're playing good football now. So I think they're just going to roll into the playoff. I don't think anybody's going to beat them.
Okay. All right.
Well, look, I just want to say this. I want Oregon to win out because I want them in this playoff, and I want Alabama to hopefully win out because if anybody remembers, Oregon did beat Alabama once.
Alabama's losing to Georgia.
When?
A while back. But I
don't remember.
Yeah, I want to take on Oregon. That'd
be a hell of a matchup for him. Celeste asks, "Where's the records?" Zach does that. Zach just literally moved into his new apartment, so I'm sure we'll have an updated list probably next week. Yes, we normally do show it on the screen. We just didn't this week, but yeah, Zach will, I'm sure, have that for us next week.
I will have that ready for y'all next week. I'm still working on trying to get the overall records because we have one show that we had very bad technical issues. But I will get those records. I will get that record straightened out, and we will have it next week.
Cool. All right.
Also, Christian, 2015. Thanks, Will. 2015, Oregon beat Bama.
I still do not believe that.
What? Yeah,
That
that's
Oregon
true.
beat
That
Alabama.
was, yeah.
It was a bowl game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So January. Hang on. January 1st, 2015, Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was the 81st Sugar Bowl and a semifinal game in the college football playoff.
Yeah, that was
That's
the
in
year
basketball.
That was the year that Oregon played Auburn, was it
No,
not?
it's a Sugar Bowl, man. The Sugar Bowl ain't basketball.
Yeah.
72-68. Oregon beat them
Oregon ain't beating
basketball.
anybody in basketball. Did y'all see that score against BYU the other night?
No, I didn't. Did they blow them
Like
out?
89-51, and Oregon's ranked like 12th in the country.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Damn.
Speaking of Pac-12, we've got a game coming up between two
I didn't
teams.
pick.
Oh, my bad. Bum.
It's okay.
By 90.
Oh, see, I could have swore you said Oregon.
That's why you didn't pick.
Will is giving you a hard time every week, man. It's becoming a nice little
Wes,
little
you
heel
said- you
face
said
battle.
this
I
is
love it.
Wes said this is going to be a nice little Pac-12 after dark game, and I said no, it's not. And that's all I said. I
Oh,
didn't
my
get the
bad.
pick.
All right. Well, what about this
means
one,
that
Bum?
Oregon's going to be up by 40 at halftime, and at 11 o'clock at night, I'll be able to switch over to ESPN Plus and watch Pepperdine play Pacific in basketball.
Oh my goodness!
Solid
All right,
plan.
Bum. It sounds like a good idea. Speaking of Pac-12 after dark, what about these two teams, Brandon? Two teams that I feel like really need to get back on track. Two historically good football teams, and that's the UCLA Bruins and the USC Trojans. Bum, who you got in this one, man?
They
UCLA or
both
UCLA?
suck.
They both suck.
Give me UCLA just because they
Really?
have a coach.
Fighting Chip Kelly's. Yeah, I feel you. Christian, I'll come to you, man. Who you got?
I'll pick UCLA.
Y'all are just really disgusted by this game. I don't get it. Will, what about you,
I
man?
mean, nobody likes Pac-12.
Because they're not good anymore. Like they're
Yeah.
I mean,
Christian is.
I,
Might as well pack their crap
sick.
up and move. Get it packed.
Yeah, I get it. Go ahead, Will.
Until Keyshawn Johnson is offered the job at USC, I don't know that I'm going to really see them
Pete
doing
Carroll's
much.
the head
But
coach at USC.
I know. Anyways, all right. So just because I used to really like playing UCLA or playing with UCLA on NCAA, just because they always seem to have really fast running backs and receivers, I'll pick this game.
type of guy.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Ah, man, not at all. Yeah, man, they would always roll. You could always just run the option and just flip the ball out. So I'm gonna run with UCLA. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
all
I'm gonna
based.
take
I
all
did that.
based-
I did that with Oregon a lot.
all based on
Yeah, no,
NCAA
it-
college football. I love it.
Exactly. No statistical analysis whatsoever. Just solely based on
That's
like
how- that's
really
how bad
probably
these
like
two teams
2008, 2009 NCAA.
I love
EA
it. I love
Sports.
it. That was a great game too. That's when the dynasty was so more in depth. But anyway,
So much.
give me USC in this game. Fight on, fight on, fight on. Give me USC. Nathan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take UCLA. USC ain't nothing. So I chose UCLA
You're
at the
good,
beginning of the
Bum.
season to beat LSU. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with UCLA.
Zach, what about you, man?
UCLA.
He really just did the chant. All right, we're going to move on to the SEC. Up next, Vanderbilt travels down to Oxford
Ole
to take
Miss.
on Ole Miss.
I mean,
Everybody
come
thinking-
on, are we really
Blowout.
about to call this game
Ole
like this
Miss.
is a blowout? Ole Miss all the way. Come on.
Ole Miss by
Oh, Dandy
90.
Vandy couldn't do nothing.
He said
I mean,
Ole
come
Miss
on,
by
man.
90.
Vandy
They
like
very
the
well
last
could do
3
it.
weeks. He might pick them this week.
Wes,
Ole Miss
Wes,
by
look, this
90.
ain't baseball, Wes. This is not baseball, man.
I'm not
Come
picking
on.
Vandy until next week.
Exactly. I'll take Ole Miss big in this one. Will Ole Miss big? All right, he gave me the orange
Look,
Cassidy.
Two
Look,
thumbs
I
up.
just want to
love
say,
it.
Matt Corral's going to put Heisman numbers up against Vandy in this game.
Oh, all right, yeah,
I've
probably.
seen Vandy play and I've seen Ole Miss play.
We're just
Vandy's
covering
about
the
to get
SEC, fellas.
absolutely murdered.
We're just covering the Southeast, fellas. That's what we're doing. All right, up next. Well, all right. So is this going to be a blowout too? Auburn, South Carolina.
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
South
Y'all really
Carolina's
think
going
so?
to beat the shit out of them.
Exactly. TJ
Give me-
Finley starting
Give me
quarterback.
South Carolina to win this game Saturday. Everybody
Nah.
agree or no?
I agree.
Yeah, that's my pick. Will, what about you?
No, I'll take Auburn. I mean, the 7.5 points that South Carolina's catching at home. I mean, that might be worth taking, but I think Auburn will win.
Bo Nix out for the season. Give me South Carolina.
Yeah, that was a terrible collapse by Auburn against Mississippi
Oh.
State.
Historical
But
collapse.
they lost their quarterback.
One of the
Pontius
greatest
Fennel.
collapses I've ever seen in college football.
I was listening to it on the radio, and it was nuts, man. Christian, are you taking Auburn or South Carolina?
Is it Finley that's their quarterback, TJ Finley?
Yeah.
You know,
He's a transfer from LSU. He's not that great. Just come on over to the Gamecock side.
I think Auburn's still going to win.
Okay. All right. Zach, what about you, man?
Auburn by 14.
Really? All right. Up next, guys, we've got another game where the head coach, there's rumors speculating everywhere about him. Louisiana
He's
Lafayette.
going to get Coach of the Year?
No. Louisiana Lafayette and Liberty. Both coaches are being rumored to be top candidates for jobs around the country. And that's Billy Napier and Hugh Freeze. Brandon, I'll come to you first, man. Louisiana Lafayette or Liberty?
Well, it's going to be a pretty decent game. I do think that I think Hugh Freeze is going to Virginia Tech. I think it's pretty evident that he's going to be looking for another job after this season. He's ready to get back in that Power 5 swing of things. And Billy Napier, he's a name I've heard mentioned for the TCU job.
Yeah.
So I think they're both going to be in Power 5 schools next year. But I think Hugh Freeze and that offense are just too much. Give me Liberty in this one or give me death.
All right. You're exactly right. I think Liberty's going to get this win. I think it's going to be a really good football game. I think it's going to be a battle. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Louisiana Lafayette's going to give them all they want. But give me Liberty to get the win. Christian, I come to you next, man. Louisiana Lafayette or Liberty?
Liberty, but y'all gonna have to tell me who wins this game because I won't be watching.
Okay, all right, not a problem. Nathan, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on the Hugh Freeze train and go with Liberty on this one.
Okay, all right. Zach, what about you?
Give me Liberty.
Will, are you going to take Louisiana Lafayette?
Yes.
Really? Okay, go ahead.
Well, again, this is one of those. It's sort of like the UCLA pick earlier, but this isn't because I played with University of Louisiana Lafayette and NCAA football. This is only because I just enjoy Cajun food. So I love Cajun food. I love Louisiana. So I'm just going to roll with University of Louisiana Lafayette. Plus, they're number 22 in the country.
Louisiana.
They're 9-1. So I'll roll with them. And usually, I'm not going to say it's always the case when somebody gets talked about for a job, their team kind of gets distracted, or maybe they don't play quite in the right headspace. But I'll take University of Louisiana Lafayette in that.
Okay. All right, guys, we got 3 games left on the slate for this week. One more, and then we'll get down to the big 2 games of the week. Florida and Missouri. Florida is an absolute dumpster fire right now. Dan Mullen dressed up as Darth Vader a few years ago, and now he's looking like Darth Vader on the sidelines. Going up against Missouri, Eli Drinkowitz, I still like the guy. Give me Missouri to get this win Saturday, fellas, and put the final axe on Dan Mullen. He will be gone from Florida after this loss. Give me Missouri to get the win. Bum, what about you?
Tyler Beatty is one hell of a running back. Florida cannot stop the run to save their lives. Give me Mizzou in this one by at least 10.
All right, so Les said Florida. Zach, we'll come to you, man. Missouri or Florida?
Give me Florida because I don't like Missouri, and I think we're going to kick their ass next week.
Okay, all right. Christian, I come to you, man. Florida, Missouri.
Yeah, that Beatty guy is a good running back for Missouri, and they're also a very unpredictable team. You never know because you never know what team's going to show up. I think we kind of know what Florida is now. and I think Missouri.
Trash.
Yeah, exactly. I think Missouri is going to show up and win this game. And that's just simple as that. I think Missouri is going to beat Florida. I don't think Florida's playing for anything right now. I think they've given up on their coach, and
Yeah, I completely agree. Nathan, we come to you, man. Florida or Missouri?
Yeah, give me misery. I mean, both teams are, quite frankly, just misery to me. Both of them just look awful.
If I was a fan of either team, I'd want to be put out of my misery.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no joke. Like, give me the misery Tigers.
All right, Willie B. What about you, man?
So I was just looking at something come across a headline here for Missouri. They just released some injury reports for this weekend. Man, I mean they're at home. I know they're catching 9 points. Florida looked like garbage lately, but I still think Florida will win. It looks like Missouri's secondary is pretty banged up, and their quarterback situation sort of up in the air. So I don't know. I'll go ahead and roll with Florida on this one.
Okay. All right, fellas. We're down to the final 4 teams of the week. As everyone knows, here at the 4-Star Sports Media College Pick'em Show, we always pick the Arkansas game and the Memphis game last. We're going to start with the Arkansas game. Arky, as people like to call him, is traveling.
I have never literally heard anyone say they love being called Arky.
I hate when people say it.
All right. Okay. Well, Arky is traveling to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You know, folks call it, I don't know, T-Town or something like that.
They call it T-Town, man. Come on.
They call it T-Town, Title Town, I don't know. Titty Baby Schedule Town. They call it something. I don't know. Anyway, Arkansas is traveling down there. We're going to start with Will, and then we're going to come to Bum. But Will, we'll start with you, man. Arky or Alabama?
Man, I know as much as it would make a couple of these guys happy to say I'm pulling for the Hogs, I don't know that I can do it. I'm just not against Bama at home. I'll take Bama in this. 20.5 points might be worth taking if you're taking some points, but I say Bama wins the game.
Okay. All right. Bum, we'll come to you, man.
Hello, friends. Hope you've had a wonderful week. As I told you last week, the LSU Tigers were going to win against Arkansas. That did not happen. But was it a close game? You bet your ass. Alabama is going to absolutely throttle the Hogs this week.
You know, LSU
and I know
almost
every
beat
Arkansas
Alabama,
fan's
right?
going to be in agreement with me. It's not going to be close. Arkansas might put up some points in the first half. Alabama's going to make an adjustment in the second half, and then they're going to bend you over their knee. They do it every time they play anybody, especially Arkansas. Dirty, dirty, dirty hog, filthy, smelly Arkansas. I mean, y'all are responsible for what the Mississippi River smells like. And that's absolute trash. So give me the Alabama Crimson Tide in this game by at least 30.
All right. Sorry, I just saw Will's comment in the private chat. That was funny. All right, Christian, I'll come to you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Arkansas, if they can play great defense, they'd have to play their best defensive game, and it still wouldn't be enough, I don't think. But I do think this has the potential to be a somewhat close game. I just think, Saban, he's just too good at adjusting, and I think Arkansas will have a good game plan in the first half. But I don't know. I have no reason to feel confident about this game, so I'll leave it at that. I think Arkansas I think they're going to fight, but I just don't see it happening.
Okay.
You're
a
Poor
realist.
Arky.
I like that though, Christian. You're a realist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not seeing anything through Arkansas red colored glasses.
I mean, we would have to hold them to like under.
Wait a minute.
We would have to hold them. We would have to hold them to under 24 points, and I just don't know if we can do that. But if we can hold them to under 24 points, then we have a chance. But I just don't see how we're going to score a whole lot of points against them. But their defense is vulnerable. I will say that.
It is.
But they're still good. They're still good enough to shut you down. So,
Hey, for the Arkansas fans that don't know, I know Christian and Zach and Wes all know this, but the other ones that listen to us don't. You have to score more points than the other team to actually win a football game.
Oh my God.
And I know it's hard to count over there. But yeah, I know you can't count, so it's going to be hard to count as high as the points that Alabama scores on you this weekend.
Holy shit! All right, Zach, what about you, man?
Really, Bum?
I thought about cutting
Really,
so
Bob?
low, but I thought about saying something so low, but I'm not going to do it.
Really, Bum? Come on, man.
Oh,
Come on,
This is
man.
not
Hey,
the
I
best
tell you
time.
what, Bum.
As
when
a
you,
Memphis person,
hey.
this is not the best time to be shitting on
hey,
Arkansas.
Bum.
that's really
Bum.
not.
I'm gonna
And
tell you now,
I can
Bubba.
say that. I mean that in two
Come
ways.
play
really.
come play some big boy football in the SEC, and then we'll talk.
We play y'all in just a few years.
I mean, we did beat a team that
you're in the
beat
American.
this season,
You're in the
so
American, so you're
we
like
beat
you're
a
basically
team
a
that
group
you
of 5
beat
right
this
now.
season.
So
What's our record against the SEC?
1-0, baby.
Go ahead,
on,
Zach.
Bub. Come on, Bub. You're my brother, man. I love you, man, but come on now.
See you in 2024, bub.
So, as much as I would love the streaks to continue to be broken this year, it's just not going to happen against Alabama. They're still way too talented. Yes, their secondary is vulnerable. They're not vulnerable enough for Arkansas's offense. It's not going to be a complete blowout, but it's not going to be a win for Arkansas, unfortunately, because, again, it's Alabama.
Yeah.
That being said, give me the Tide.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd love the Hogs to pull off the upset. I'm not convinced.
Bama's Bama. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Bama is Bama. I mean, people don't even call them Alabama anymore. It's just Bama. Who you root for, Bama? I mean, when's the last time you heard somebody say, who you root for, Alabama? Not very often.
I will say, and again, Nate can probably back this up. I will say that I did read a report where Nick Saban was not happy with his team and team's practice this week, and
He's
said
probably
that they need to
probably
focus
not
a little
happy
bit
every
more.
When is
week.
Nick Saban ever happy?
I was gonna say his team beats a team 58-3, and he's pissed off in the press conference.
If they get a yard of offense, he's not happy.
Yeah, he's
but
crazy.
Hey, the way you're supposed to say Alabama is the way that Brett Musburger says it. Alabama.
Eli Gold is gold on their radio broadcast, by the way. If anybody hasn't listened to Eli Gold, if anyone hasn't listened to Eli Gold, you are doing yourself a disservice. You've got to listen to that guy. The way he describes the uniforms and everything, he's incredible. All right, guys, last game of the night.
Whoa.
Oh, my bad.
Whoa.
Go ahead, Nathan.
We already know your
All
pick,
right.
Nate. So go ahead and go to the Memphis game.
No. I'm gonna say this. Yes, Zach's right. Nick Saban did say in a press conference that the practices hasn't been up to his standards. They haven't looked good. Well, hold on, y'all. But the thing about this game is that Arkansas does have a legit defensive line that Nick Saban has said that is very impressive.
John Ridgway.
And the thing about this game right here, this is a game that it's going to be close, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. As a Bama fan, it's going to be close because the New Mexico State game, everybody talked and said, oh, that was a good test for Bama. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The true test is for Alabama to finish out and go 1-on-1 with Georgia. But the only way we can do it is we got to win one of the last 2 games.
We got to win that one against Georgia, that first one, and that ain't happening, buddy.
Well, 1 or 2 means we either got to beat Arkansas or beat Auburn to win the West. But this game right here,
Yeah,
guys,
because if
to
it
be
ends up
honest,
if it ends up
to
as a
be
6-way
honest,
tie, Auburn
if-
plays
if-
Georgia in
yeah.
the SEC
If
title.
Arkansas beats Alabama this week, and somehow Ole Miss is in the SEC championship, we live in a simulation.
But here's what y'all got to look at. You can't look at the point spread. You can't look at that. You're looking at 2 coaches, Sam Pittman, who actually Nick Saban tried to get on his coaching staff, and Sam turned him down.
Yep.
All right. Now they have a lot of respect for each other, and it's like I'm going to take this from Sam Pittman from his press conference when he said he was talking about Will Anderson Jr., one of our top defensive ends.
Side note: Sam Pittman looks like he has this meat sweats when he talks.
Yeah. Well, look, he's coming
Every
up with
press
strategies
conference.
to stop Will Anderson, and I get that he is a beast and he will make plays when need to. But one thing that you guys got to understand is Alabama's down to 2 actual running backs in this game, which is Brian Robinson and Trey Sanders. So this is going to be a true test for Bama because, I mean, let's be honest, that New Mexico State game, we had some injuries in there that kind of screwed us up. So I'm going to say this as a Bama fan. I can't wait for this. I cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be a good game to watch. And I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide on this, of course. But all my respect goes to Sam Pittman as a coach. And I know he's going to have these guys ready to play Alabama. So, but I'm still going to go with my Crimson Tide.
All right. That's going to be a hell of a game Saturday at 2:30, by the way.
Oh, on a side note, I hate having 2:30 slots because I don't want to hear Gary Danielson run his mouth because he's so freaking biased against every other team that gets on there. So I will be muting the TV and listening to my boy Eli Gold.
He's
Alabama.
usually talking about how good Bama is. I thought.
No, he's not. Watch anything that plays Alabama, and he's sitting there saying, well, back in 2007, this has happened. Back in this, blah, 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 blah. Gary
That's
Danielson,
actually a
please
really
just
good-
do us all a
That's a
favor
really good impersonation.
It really is.
and get a new job, please, Gary Danielson, because we don't like you, and that's why we just have to put up with you.
I understand. Tomorrow night, fellas, got a football game kicking off. Memphis takes on Houston. Memphis is still reaching for the brass bowl ring for the season. Memphis lost last week to East Carolina in overtime.
That's enough right there. I don't have to say anything.
East Carolina's not a bad football team, by the way. Memphis takes on Houston. I'm going to start it off, fellas. I'm going to take Memphis in this game. That's just my honest opinion.
He's got those blue glasses on.
No. This isn't a blue glasses thing at all. I'm not sold on any team that Dana Holgorsen coaches. None. Not a damn one. Never have been.
I'm just messing with you, man.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just giving facts for why I'm picking Memphis. I'm not sold on any team he coaches. I don't like him as a coach. I don't think he's a good coach. None of his teams are disciplined. You look at every coach every team he's coached, they've all been penalized. His teams are not disciplined. They make stupid plays in football games that cost them games. I think it's going to happen tomorrow night. I think Memphis will get the win. Memphis seems to have a knack about going to Houston and getting wins. If you go back and look at the history of this rivalry, and that's exactly what it is, Memphis has a history of going down there and getting big dubs. So I think Memphis is going to get the win tomorrow night. Go ahead, Christian.
Well, like me and you were talking about this on Saturday, Memphis always plays good teams really tough, and then they shit the bed against teams they should beat. So I would not be surprised if Memphis gives Houston a game. I do agree Houston's one of those teams that they're kind of like an SMU. Right when you think they're getting rolling, they drop a game they shouldn't. So I'm not saying Memphis can't win this game, but there's no doubt they're gonna be trying to get that sixth win. It's gonna come down to. I guess this is probably their best shot at doing that because I believe y'all finish with Cincinnati. Is that correct?
No, we played Tulane.
Hell no.
We played Tulane last game of the year.
Y'all don't play Cincinnati this year?
No, we don't.
Hell no.
Never mind. I thought y'all
Yeah,
played
no.
them. Well, then Tulane, y'all are going to beat Tulane to get that win. But
we should.
Yeah.
We also should have beat Temple. We also should have beat Tulsa. I mean, it's just how it is as a Memphis Tigers
It'll be
fan.
6-6 for Memphis, which a lot of teams will take that.
We're going bowling. That's all. I mean, as long as we go bowling and get the win, I'm happy. Well, I'm not extremely happy, but I'll take it. How about that? Zach, we come to you, man. Memphis or Houston?
Give me Memphis.
Really?
I'm gonna be nice. Unlike Bum, I'll give me Memphis.
All right. Nathan, I come to you next, and then Will, and then Bum. Nate?
Okay. Now, look, you can't all jump on Ryan Silverfield for going for the win because Arkansas
Kevin John's
fans
got to go.
Sam Pittman tried to do that against Ole Miss. Let's not forget that.
Kevin John's
So
got
you
to
got to
go.
give him.
Yep.
So here's my thing.
I know we could be 8-2 right now if we would.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Here it is. All right. Here it is. This is my upset pick of the week. Memphis upsets Houston. I picked SMU to beat Memphis, and I was wrong. I think Ryan Silverfield's going to have a different strategy with Houston. Memphis is going to come out. They're going to compete, and they're going to take care of Houston. They're going to knock them down.
Wow. All right, Will.
I did.
Man. So I'm not as confident about Memphis's chances of going down there and doing much. I've got Houston winning. I mean, I think looking at the spread, I might take the 8.5, but that's only if Memphis decides not to run the ball and they only put the ball in Seth's hands and just let him, air it out. I mean, that seems to be the only thing that's really worked for them on offense. I don't know what they're seeing in their film room that's kept them from just doing that and letting him take the ball and just play ball, because that's something he's really capable of. And they just hadn't really been able to do anything on the ground. So, Houston's at home. I mean, I think I've lost a lot of any kind of faith I had in this Tigers team.
Yeah, I got Houston too, by the way.
Okay. Bum, go ahead, man.
Yeah, Amani Bates, Jalen Duran, Tyler Harris, they're all looking pretty good. I think Memphis gets the win over Western Kentucky tomorrow.
Me too.
We're talking about football?
Yeah.
Wes?
Yes.
Wes?
Yes.
Lock of the year. Memphis
fellas.
wins. Memphis wins. Memphis wins. I only get one of these a year.
You do.
I'm 1-0 with them so far.
You landed on the
I landed on it last year. Memphis goes into Houston. They rebound. They get their 6th win of the season. Look, Memphis hasn't had a losing record since 2014. And I'm just talking about at any point in any season. They haven't had a losing record at any point in any season since 2014. They're not 2013. Excuse me. That was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We're locking it. We're putting it in. We're throwing the key away. And if I'm wrong tomorrow, I'm wrong tomorrow. That defense is going to come out rolling. And I think Seth Hennigan's got a little something up his sleeve And
Going back home to the state of Texas.
hey, guess who else is going home? Sean Dykes.
Yep.
Sean Dykes is from Houston, Texas.
Totally forgot about
Morris
that.
Joseph is from Houston, Texas. We got a lot of Texas boys on that team. They're going home.
They're
This is
hungry.
a home game for them, brother. Dana Holgerson is a terrible football coach, like you said earlier. Houston, even though they're 8-1, their fans won't show up to the game. It'll be a Friday night game. They won't have any fans there because most of their fans are still crying about the Braves beating the Astros in the World Series. It's you know how hard it is right now for me to pick the Tigers because they've struggled so much. But I think this is just one of those games, man. I just have a gut feeling that they get it figured out. I also have a gut feeling that if we lose this game, Kevin Johns is going to have to walk his ass back to Memphis because he ain't going to be on that plane after they lose.
I mean, honestly, man,
But we're locking it down, baby. Tigers.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think the Tigers walk into Houston and get a win. I mean, I don't know. Will may have pulled it up, but I mean,
I don't know how they win, but I think they do win.
We just have a way. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, we have a way of going into Houston and getting wins, and it's really fun to see, man. It really is. We are 4-Star Sports Media. We are now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. We're also on 4star.live. You're watching right now on our 4-Star Sports Media Facebook page, on the 4-Star Sports Media YouTube page, and also on the Inside the Hog Pen Facebook page. All of the shows under the 4-Star Sports Radio Network featured on our website are now featured under the 4-Star Sports Media Network name on all podcasts that you can listen to. I will try to get this episode uploaded as quick as I can to the server to get it out for you guys. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody listening on Apple and Spotify and everywhere else we're on. Be sure to follow us. Twitter at 4-Star Sports, capital M. Facebook, 4-Star Sports Media. For Will Bass, Razorback Zach, Christian Johnson, Nathan Wilson, Big Bad Bumgarner, I am Wes Pruitt. We are 4-Star Sports Media, and we are out.